In this video, I'm going to talk about how much RAM do you need, what the heck RAM is, and can adding more RAM will solve every single problem in your life? Well, if you want to know about these questions, don't forget to watch this video till the end. And this is Akash from TechnoDefine, and we make daily tech content similarly like this. So if you are interested and that sounds good to you, don't forget to subscribe. And now let's talk about RAM, shall we? Before answering the question how much RAM do you need to understand what the heck RAM is. Well, as the name implies, it is random access memory, and as it suggests, it's memory, so it means it's a storage device. And if you know a little bit about computers, then you should know that a storage devices doesn't affect your PC's performance a lot. Now the question is, can adding more RAM makes your PC faster? Well, honestly, it depends. And a lot of time, having more RAM doesn't always make your PC faster, but having lesser RAM definitely gonna make your PC slower. Confusing, right? To make it simple, think like your system is a car and your RAM is the fuel tank and your CPU is the engine. Now, and the storage device is the whole petrol pump, or the hard disk or the SSD which you have, it's the petrol pump. Now, what CPU does, or what computer does in general, it runs or executes instructions. Now those instructions need storage because they are some kind of data. Now that data has to be stored somewhere. So at first it gets stored on your hard drive, because if you're playing game or browsing through internet with your browser, all that things are stored in your hard drive. Now when your CPU needs those data, it tells your operating system to send those data from your hard drive to your RAM, and then your CPU can access that data from your RAM. Do you remember I told you earlier to think your system as a car? Now your hard disk is the fuel station or the petrol pump or the gas station, and the petrol is your data. Now that petrol, where you store your petrol in your car, in your fuel tank. Now just think that your RAM is the fuel tank. Now when your car's engine needs fuel, it doesn't ask the petrol pump to send it fuel, it asks the fuel tank to send it fuel to get your car going. Now after a certain point, your fuel tank gets empty, then you need to refill it again. And the same with RAM, it's a random access memory. When the CPU needs data, the RAM gets data. When it doesn't need it, it doesn't have any data. When it's again need data, it gets data. So now all clear? Now let's talk about how much RAM do you need. Now to answer that question, you need to ask yourself two questions. First, one, what kind of hardware you're running, and second is what are your use cases. Now if you are running an old system like something around 2010-12 era, then I would suggest you do not focus on your RAM, focus on upgrading the whole system itself. Now what if you are running a relatively modern hardware, something around 2017 and 2018? Now you have to then ask yourself, what are your use cases. Now if you use your computer for your mundane tasks like browsing internet, using for your office suite or watching media, then 4 GB RAM is fine, but I don't suggest you get 8 GB of RAM, because I think most of your choice of browser is Chrome, and Chrome has a reputation of eating memory. So if you can give it more memory, it will love it. And that also raises a question, how many tabs do you open, what are the extension? And if you want to know more about why Chrome loves memory, check this video right here, I already made it. Now what if your work scenario is simple, or even though if you use Chrome you don't go more than 5 tabs at a time, and your computer is slower, and you also have 8 GB of memory? What is the problem? Now you have to wear your diagnostic glasses. Now how will you determine what's the problem? Well, open your task manager and look what program or what application or what software is using most of your memory. Now if you see that there is a program which you don't need, you don't use, or you don't know when you downloaded it, locate that application and uninstall it. Voila, you're fine. You don't need way too much RAM to use unnecessary program which you don't have a clue of. But what if you need that application? Now look at it, that how much RAM it needs, or what are the recommended requirements, system requirements. Now how you will determine it? You have internet, obviously. go through internet, check YouTube videos, and I'm sure you will get your answer. But what if you use resource heavy workflow, something like games or making animations or exporting videos, or use After Effects, Photoshop? So for that, I will suggest you again go to internet and look through all the system requirements for specific games. Now, system requirements in itself is a little bit vague term, but there are again websites, YouTube channels where you can go and look specific games and how much system requirements really it needs. Then you can determine it. And what if you are an editor or an animator? Well, then it's a simple answer, man. The more RAM you give, the better your workflow is going to be. It's a simple and easy answer. Sometimes 16 gigabytes RAM for me is a little bit slower. Sometimes I feel, what if I had 32 gigabytes of RAM when I'm editing my videos on Premiere? Now, to sum it up, what are my recommendations? 4 gigabytes RAM is still fine for mundane tasks, but 8 gigabytes RAM is always a little bit better because you have a little bit leg room to work with. And honestly, RAMs right now ain't that much expensive, so I don't think that's gonna be an issue. But if that is, then do your diagnostics, troubleshooting, see that any unnecessary apps or software you're running or not. Now, what if you are a gamer? Well, 8 gigabytes RAM is also fine, but it also depends on your game optimization. Some modern day titles can work fine with 4 gigabytes of RAM. Some modern day titles cannot work with even 8 gigabytes of RAM. You need upwards of 12. Example is Call of Duty Warzone. The recommended system specs is over 12 gigabytes of RAM to run it properly and over 60 FPS. So again, do your research. And what if you are an editor, animator, all that kind of thing? If you do, I'll get more RAM. If you can, get 64 128 gigabytes of RAM. If your platform support quad channel memory, do it. Go ahead, it's your money, it's your life, make your own choice, man. So this was it for this video. If you liked it, hit the like button. If you don't, leave it a dislike. Feel free to do it, but remember, it hurts more than running your PC slower than usual. It hurts more than that. Yes, it does. So don't do it. But again, you live your life, do whatever you want to do. And if you want to watch more videos from us, check this video right here. And if you want to subscribe, well, do it by here. And this is Akash, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.